Hi, I'm Lori Spielman, and I'm your first selectman for the next few days. And then you're going to have a new selectman, but another Lori, so you can't go wrong. And my guest today is Diane Trube, who wears a few different hats in town. Diane is head of the Farmers Market and also the Nellie McKnight Museum.
Not head of that, but.
Whoa, you're pretty close. You're the commander-in-chief. Boy, what two striving entities that you have going on.
We do. They're good.
So right now, this Saturday coming up, which is towards the end of the month, are you moving the farmers market?
Right. So the Winter Farmers Market starts this Saturday, November 22nd. And people always ask, oh, what are you doing at the Winter Market? But we have 40 vendors. And we do have produce, Easy Pickings Orchard, or they have much more than orchard. They have greenhouses and they have cold storage and they have a lot of produce, fresh produce, greens. We'll have apples there from Busa and then loads of food. All kinds of great foods, baked goods, cheeses, farm products like relishes and jams and jellies and all kinds of cool things. So what we do before the holidays is we invite local craft persons so that the lobby will be full of crafts, more handmade items, so you can do all your holiday shopping, food, and gifts in one place.
Starting this Saturday.
This Saturday, and then we are not here the Saturday after Thanksgiving, no market because nobody wants to think about eating in the least. And then 3 in December, 2 in January, 2 in February. So the best way to know when we're open is to go online, ellingtonfarmersmarket.org, and there's a little box, get our weekly newsletter, and then you'll always know who's coming, who the vendors are, what the days are, and that's the easiest way.
Boy, that's great. And yesterday I happened to stop by and our Department of Public Works was out there digging out for your sidewalk and everything else.
Great.
They finished coming from Town Hall over, but now they're going along Maple Street, which I think is wonderful.
It will be great because parking at the summer market, we use the town parking lot and there was not a sidewalk, and now it'll be much safer and easier and strollers won't have to hop over the roots.
I was wondering how they were going to do that sidewalk with that grade, because that grade went down a good 3.5 feet.
Looks good.
They did a van, and they could only go to the fence because there's roots and there was a grate there and all sorts of stuff.
They did a good job.
They did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So they're basing it out, digging it out, compacting it, and getting it all set for you.
The other thing I should say about the farmers market is we are still doubling SNAP in the winter. And in the summer, we doubled Farmers Market Nutrition Program vouchers for low-income seniors and women on WIC. The 22nd is the last market that they can use the part that the state gave them. So the seniors have these little credit cards and the women have apps. That expires November 30th. However, we matched all those and we gave little vouchers, and those don't ever expire. But if you are a senior with those or somebody on WIC, please come Saturday and use up all your funds on those cards.
Now, is it just for food?
The ones that the state gives, so the cards, for seniors, it's produce, honey, and eggs. For the women on WIC, it's produce and eggs. They can't get honey. But the ones that we give, those little doubling vouchers, they can buy any food they would like at the market, and those won't expire. So,
boy, that's wonderful, and thank goodness you do that.
Is. And SNAP, so if anybody's, we all know the problem with SNAP, that many people didn't get their benefits. Benefits are being cut. So we do get some funding for our doubling program, but we self-fund the Farmer Market Nutrition Program one, and then our funding's being cut for the SNAP to double. So going forward, we'll see how much we can distribute, but if we are a nonprofit and we're going to have a little donate bucket if anyone wants to donate to the cause and help those less fortunate, especially this holiday season, for doubling SNAP, that would be great.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now, switching gears, to the Nellie McKnight Museum.
Yeah, we had a great year.
You've done some fabulous
We have
things.
this great person, Christopher Biggs, who loves history, and we have to give most of the credit to him.
He did a great job last weekend, or the
He
weekend
did a
before.
couple things this year. He did Blood on the Bayou was great. It was in the summer, and it was a story of the Ellington Civil War soldiers who fought the Battle of Irish Bend. And actually, somebody in the audience was the great-grandson of one of those soldiers. I mean, it was very cool.
It was amazing. It was a great night, and people loved it, and they wanted more.
They wanted more.
They keep asking.
The more came last Saturday. He organized a Revolutionary War reenactment camp. It was really well attended, and it was thanks to two groups. The Old Town Lebanon Militia, who were the American side, and the 54th Regiment of Foot was the British side, and it was just a fantastic event. So Christopher's giving a talk on December 18th at the Hall Memorial Library, and we have a diary in the archives that this young man went to the Edward Hall Family School for Boys. The building is still on Main Street in Ellington in the 1860s, and he had a diary, and he wrote in it every day. So Christopher's has a talk. It's at the library, and it's just going over the everyday life of this boy who lived in Ellington during the Civil War. What's interesting about it, there's no mention of the Civil War, like it didn't exist in Ellington at the time. So that was pretty interesting. So that's free. That's at the Hall Memorial Library.
Now, are you selling tickets or?
No, it's free. You just come. Or
So-
you can look on the Hall Memorial Library website. It's under events.
If it fills up, will you do it again?
We always would do it again if it fills up, but that's a good one. So we hope going forward just to keep these historical.
Oh, it's fantastic. People love it. I can't believe
it's
it.
Great. It's great. At first, when a new board took over, it just took us a while we had to fix the place. We had to, there was a lot. And finally, we're into, providing more historical events. And so we will be open every Saturday, starting this Saturday until Christmas. And our exhibit this year is still open. It's a history of Ellington sports, so you can see that. And we have the holiday marketplace, and we need to raise $30,000 a year, basically, to keep this building in shape and do all that we do. So this is a way. It's a cool little mercantile. There's local artisan wares in there, and a lot of Ellington themed, but holiday stuff. And then in the back is a holiday boutique, we call it, and that's things people donate to us, Christmas things that's all used. It's very inexpensive, and if you're a treasure hunter, you will want to see that. So this Thursday,
So you're selling.
we sell stuff, and that's to fund our thing. This Thursday is from 5 to 8 is Sip and Shop. So you can come in, you can have some refreshments and fellowship and shop, and it's 10% off the mercantile.
Wow, that's
Just to
great.
yeah, and then we're open Saturdays.
Now, are you decorated for Christmas yet?
We are decorated for Christmas. I know it's a little early, but
Well, it's a lot of work.
well, we're following the stores. But there's some great stuff, and it's a great way to support us. And
People love everything in there.
yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, little Ellington mugs and all sorts of
There's
different
all kinds
things.
Of Ellington theme. It's a theme thing. Our annual appeal has also started. And our goal is to raise $10,000 on our annual appeal, and we're almost up to 5. So
That's great.
we're a nonprofit. It's tax deductible. You can go on our website, EllingtonHist, SISTSOC.org. Just click the button. Any amount is really appreciated. It goes to a great cause, and so all our events that we have are always free.
That means a lot for people to
And that's
just.
what we do with our money.
So you also have hot dogs. Usually, people grab a little something to eat, And also coming up, I don't want to jump ahead of Thanksgiving, but we're going to have,
Winterfest.
right, 1st of December. Now.
What is it, the 6th?
Yes,
Saturday the 6th. So it's a big day at Nellie's.
rain or shine.
I've done it maybe, I don't know, since 2021 hasn't rained yet. Fingers crossed. But we will have a bonfire. We'll have the Peppermint Pub open, the museum open. We'll have somebody playing Christmas carols, and it's just a lovely, lovely social time. And then the parade starts at 5:15, goes right by Nellie's. It's fun.
Now, last year you had hot cider or hot chocolate.
Yeah, we have hot chocolate, hot cider. We're not going to have hot dogs. The Chick-fil-A truck will be there for dinner, though. So if you want dinner, they're going to be there starting about 3. But we're open at 9. So it's about 9 to 7. It's just fun.
It's great. And once the sun goes down during that whole time, around 5:30, it gets cold.
Yeah.
So the fire pits are wonderful.
Yeah, we have 2 fire pits going. So it's a lovely time, and you can see the exhibit. The sports exhibit's pretty cool. Ellington was pretty successful over the years for sports, so it starts in the 60s. The high school, I believe, started, I think, like 1957, but it started at Longview. It started at the middle school. They started, before it started, everyone went to Rockville High. So they started with a freshman class, and they put him at Longview. And then the next year they added a class and put him in Longview. And then, so the actual school didn't really open where it is till, I'm not sure I'm exactly right, but maybe 62.
Wow. Huh.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
And
the old Longview school was Upper Butcher.
Right, but I think it was Middle Butcher that was built, that school. The middle school was built on Middle Butcher at the time, and that's where, so that was pretty interesting. So the first graduating class, I believe, was 62, and then the boys won the basketball championship in 64, and they were ranked 10th in the state and won it, so that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's great. And all that, you could find all that pictures and all that stuff at...
All that stuff. It's a lot about Dick Gunn and Goldie Spielman. They were like the just cornerstone of sports in Ellington.
Yeah, Dick Gunn did a lot with the Roadrunners and everything.
Oh, Dick Gunn basically did everything. He basically started everything. He started Little League, he started football, he started basketball, and what he would do, he'd start it, organize it, get it up and running, and then hand it off. And then he'd move on to the next sport, get something. Then he started on the girls. You know, he started the first women's softball team, and he was just amazing, very dedicated, as was his wife. His wife was always involved.
And you know who else was? Claire Landman.
Yeah, Claire Landman was.
She
basketball.
ran everything, and for quite a few years.
Yeah,
and then for zero cost. She didn't charge anything.
Yeah.
And then she hired part-time Bob Tedford.
Oh, that's when he first
So
started.
then he started a little bit, and then he went to full-time. And then
So there's something about Bob in there. And then we have, I think we have 8 people that went into professional sports from Ellington.
Wow.
Golf, football, hockey, basketball, baseball. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Neat. And we have, I might have 7 Hall of Famers, in different Hall of Fame, State Hall of Fame. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And back to the Winterfest, it's amazing to see all the kids and all the parents and everybody come out. It's a big night.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And people really get into decorating their trucks and...
Yeah, it's fun. It's just kind of grown, and it starts in the green. I don't know exactly the times, but I'm sure the whole schedule will be online on the Ellington website. And I don't think it's up yet, but very shortly, because I know Sue Phillips is the organizer, and I talked to her yesterday, and it's ready to be.
You know, there's a lot of work behind the scenes. We have to get permission from the state and everything to close Church Street.
Yeah.
We have to make sure all the police are in going to be there and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Safety is a big issue.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Public Works has to put up all the signs, don't park here.
Yeah, pick up all the trash. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot to it.
So if you get there early, I mean, there's lots of parking. There's parking at the Congregational Church, and they're open, and they have a gingerbread contest, and I think they have dinner. They have all kinds of stuff.
They have a great dinner.
Yeah.
And also the night before, Friday night, I think I'm going to judge the gingerbread houses, which are unbelievable. Did you see them last year?
Yeah, they're cool.
Oh, they did a fabulous job.
So you can park at the church, plenty. You can park in the town parking lot. Where else could you park? If you want to take a walk, you can park at the town hall, farmers market.
Yeah, there's plenty of.
There's plenty of parking. There's no need to, worry about that. There's plenty of spots.
Usually the town hall fills up, the annex fills up, center school.
Yep.
Yep.
But even if it's all filled, just hop on over to Maple Street and go where the farmers market is, and there's parking there too.
Yep.
It's just a short walk. It's no big deal at all.
Might be a ditch where the sidewalk is, but
Go in the driveway. Arbor Park, you can park.
yeah. So then next year you'll be going outside again.
Oh, for a farmer's market?
Yep.
Summer, yeah. It starts, so we run the 1st of May, first Saturday in May to the last Saturday in October. So it takes a little while in May to get the produce going, but it's still there and it's great. Starts usually with barnyard babies, which everybody loves, the piglets. Thank goodness for the piglets, they're really cool.
So speaking of barnyard, Oak Ridge, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've opened up a small little mini store.
Self-serve, it looks fantastic.
I've got some pictures up that we could show people. It's right at their bottling plant, basically.
Yep.
You can go in and grab milk at any time and pay right there.
Yep.
Return your bottles and get money back.
They'll have eggnog for the seasons. I'm sure they started making eggnog. And
Yeah, I got some
heavy
pictures of them
cream.
making eggnog. Their eggnog is very good.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So they come to the farm. They'll be at the farmers market also. They have a refrigerated truck. They're just going to be right outdoors. So if you have your bottles from summer, you can also
Turn them in.
turn them in at the and get new product right at the farmers market while you're shopping for other items.
Does he have all his varieties of milk? Because they
Yeah,
have
he
strawberry, they have this, they have that.
Yeah, they bring all their varieties of milk to the farmers market.
Now, you used to have Smith's.
Right.
Are they still bottling?
No, they aren't. Smith's was a very small family dairy. They were milking about 50 cows, and it was just getting very difficult for them. Their processing plant was old, and they couldn't get it. They're having problems with it breaking down and getting parts. And an offer came to them from upstate New York from a farm that offered to buy their herd, and they sold their herd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
So
very
there's no
disturbing.
cows there?
No cows there at Smith.
Wow.
Very disturbing from them. There were quite a few generation farmers, and we just wish them all the luck in the world. And yeah, that
Wow.
was not an easy decision for them, but that's what they did. It's kind of like in the 80s when the government had the milk buyout, and several of our local farms went in the buyout and got out of dairy farming, and I remember interviewing some farmers that went through that. One was Ed Luganbuehl, and how it was just the saddest day of his life, because that's all he did his whole life. He was a farmer.
Well, to see that last cow get on the trailers.
Oh, yeah. So the difference then and now is those farmers who agreed to the buyout, they either had to slaughter their herd, not themselves, but sell it to slaughter, or sell it on the foreign market, which was difficult to do. So basically, they went for meat.
Yeah, most of our cows went to Vermont and New Hampshire. Not for meat.
Yeah, but not in the buyout.
Right.
Right, when you sold the Spielman farm, yeah, that was a difference. So the buyout was in the 80s. There was a glut of milk in the country, and the government said, give us a bid for how much we will pay you for 100 pounds of milk based on your last year's production, and they gave them a check, and they had to go out of business.
You know, the old family farms, it was hard because you never really made any money.
No, you
And
worked
everybody
really
ended
hard.
up working for nothing.
Right, and that's exactly what happened is as the generations happened, so now one family's on the farm and then you have 3 sons that also want to make a living on the farm and it just gets diluted and nobody,
And the hours you put in, forget it.
yeah. And then the government at the time just had a lot to do. The milk prices would go up and down and up and down. And Oak Ridge, I think, has been very successful because they were so frugal over the years. The years that they made a lot of money, that money went in the bank. They did not live. And the years that the milk prices dove, they had money in the bank and they had to take out loans just to keep going. And so it was very, very, and I probably still is up and down. And
Well, people see that you probably get whatever at the grocery store. The farmer doesn't get that.
no, not even close.
So it's a big
I
thing.
think they get paid by it's 100-pound weight. So
Right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, you know.
But there was like
very-
5 different things they used to take out of our milk check, and one of them was advertisement. And I'm like, wait, what? Why?
What do you have for the guy with the milk mustache?
Yeah.
You're paying for that.
Yeah, the farmer pays for that, not the merchant that at the grocery store. He doesn't pay for it.
People don't realize. So I often get from the farmers market is we have, oh, how come it costs that much? So I'll give you an example. So another thing we do at the farmers market is my husband and I have we'll call it a very small farm. It's like a very large garden. So
It's huge.
one thing and we have fruit trees, and one thing that farmers can do is you can make jams, jellies, and acidified foods from your own produce, right? So we grow and we make salsas and jams and jellies, but all that money goes into Farmers Feeding Families program. And that's one of the ways that we fund all this doubling. And it's a small portion, we get grants. But for example, we have a jar of peach habanero salsa, right? And it costs $9. And people are like, I can get it at, I can get it at Job Lots for $2.99. So you go through, well, what does it cost to make this? So first you got to plant the peach trees, which costs $150 each. Then you got to wait 4 years to get some peaches.
And spray them and prune them.
Spray them and prune them and hope they don't get disease and die. So now you get some peaches. And now you got to get tomatoes. So the same thing. Then you have to have the land. Either you own a little land or you lease land. And I'm giving this example as us, but this is basically for all these little farmers that you see at the farmers market. So now you got to plant the tomato plant. You got to buy the seed. You got to start it from scratch. You need a little greenhouse to start it because it's much cheaper to start your own from seed than to buy the plants.
And stake them and sucker them
Stake 'em
and fertilize them and water them.
disease doesn't get them. And then you buy all these, you plant all this stuff, and then you have to pick the product. Oh, you gotta peel the peaches. So then you gotta make it. You have to buy the jars to can it. They cost $1 each, and I have searched high and low. There's no getting under $1 each. And so then you make the product. Then you have to go to the market and sell the product. So that $9 thing, it doesn't matter. We're donating the money, but the farmer's probably making $1.50 on it. So people have to understand and it's a thought process. Do you want to support this local farmer so they can survive?
Right.
And so then if you have the money, I understand if you don't, and that's why we double SNAP and Farmers Market Nutrition Program vouchers. I get that. But if you have it, please support these local guys.
Oh, they work hard.
Oh my gosh, they are not getting rich on this.
And you still have a lot of people like Arlo Hoffman with his leather goods.
Yeah, he's great. We have some great crafts. Mostly it's food, and the crafts tend to be, so our full-time crafts are Blessed Creek, who has wonderful beauty products. She makes all natural, I will say beauty, they're not really beauty, they're body products, moisturizers, facial oils, things like that, shampoo bars. And then we have a soap vendor, handcrafted soap. We have a coffee roaster. We have a candle maker, soy candles. The candles are really good. So those are our, quote, crafts.
Now, the soy candles, they don't make black soot and everything in the house, right? They're nice and clean. And
They're really nice candles. They come in 2 sizes, and they'll be there all at the winter market too, as will Blessed Creek. Toes to Nose Soap will be there. I have to think my crafts. So most of the applications we get now for the farmers market are all crafts. Crafts is our lowest priority. Very few spots, no full-time crafters, and we have, you're chosen on the quality and originality of your crafts. So it has to be different, basically, to come. There's very few spots, and we try to rotate them. We have some great potters this Christmas, really good potters. Arlo has in beautiful leather works, and there's another man, Keith Bergeron. He has leather works at smaller items than. There's some really good ones, but we are not a craft fair, so people get disappointed. They if you apply, you get an automatic response saying, thank you for your application, and it explains that crafts are our lowest priority. We'll let you know, but everybody has to understand. I literally get 10 a week, people wanting to bring crafts to the farmers market, and that's just not our priority. We're trying. It's good. We want them there, but it's all about farm and food.
Well, that's what it's all about. So one thing I just wanted to bring up was our Hall Memorial Library. We're kind of wrapping it up a little bit. We made an outdoor, DPW made an outdoor reading garden.
Oh yeah, that looks
It's out of stamped concrete. And for retaining walls, they used old granite.
Yeah, from the curbs.
And the curbs, I think, came from the front of the library. Remember when the road used to go in front?
Yep.
So those were stored at the old dump. And Department of Public Works guys dug them out, cleaned them all up, and reused them and reset them.
Looks really nice.
So the only thing is I'd like to put a railing around it.
And the landscaping is probably not done because it was done late, or it is?
It's not quite done.
Yeah.
Probably spring it'll be all
because it
cleaned
was
up.
too late when they.
Yeah, but this was all done through grant money and everything else,
Great.
so I hope it'll be a nice little different area for people to hang out with.
Right next to the. What's the family?
Cemetery.
Yeah, what's
Halls?
No, I'm getting thinking of it's the guy, the first minister of the Congregational Church. It begins with an M. Oh well.
Not McKnight.
I'll remember. But the reason that cemetery is there is because he had a falling out with the town. I don't know if it was with the town or who owned the cemetery. He had a falling out, and he said, I'll make my own cemetery.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Oh, jeez. Well, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank you for coming on the show today. This is show 95. It's probably my last one. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching and putting up with me. So thank you, and have a safe winter, everybody. And Happy New Year and holidays. Thank you.